So, um, funny story, chat. A few months ago, I started this game. I started this game back in like mid-October or something, and I just forgot to finish it. So, I guess I'm gonna be doing that now. Because I do want to finish, like, replay the games. Just see if, like, they're actually fun to even play. Thing is, if I remember correctly, night 6 of FNAF 2 is actually, like, really fucking difficult. I need to flash Foxy. How is it only 2 a.m. still? Foxy the puppet, those two really fuck over everything. Yep. Ah, bloody hell, dude. Those two can really, like, fuck over everything. Trying to balance the two. Trying to balance taking care of both of them is insanely difficult. Thank God there was no animatronic in the room or else I'd be dead. Fuck. Go away. I'm dead. Somehow we managed to fully recover the music box. Wait, was there? No. You have more power than the game lets you believe. So we are completely fine. The worst animatronics have got to be Toy Chica and Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie especially. Because Toy Bonnie is often so difficult to see in the vent as the game's fading back into vision because of the blue coloring. Plus, he's more variable in how long it takes for him to go away. And he takes longer. And we're dead. Most we can do is just flash Foxy and hope that the puppet came late or something. Ugh. Toy Bonnie threw off that entire strategy. If Toy Bonnie wasn't there when he was there, we could have gotten it right there. But because of how Toy Bonnie works, it's not good. Because it takes a while for him to even... Like, once you... Let me explain how Toy Bonnie works and why he's so annoying. So he shows up in the vent. Number one, that's the last place I checked before the cameras. Already not good. Number two, when I put on the mask, it takes a bit of time for him to go into the office. And I'm pretty sure that's a variable amount of time. It could be like half a second, it could be like 3 seconds. Very bad. Number three, when he's in the office, you have to wait for him to go in front of you, look at you for a few seconds, go away, and then you can take the mask off. Like, I took off the mask at the earliest possible opportunity. And it was just barely too slow to be able to get the puppet going. That's why Toy Bonnie is the biggest pain in the ass. Toy Chica is another pain in the ass, but not as bad. Same with Balloon Boy. As long as I see them on time, and register that in my brain before putting up the camera, we're good. Luckily, it seems, at least with Toy Bonnie, you have a little bit of leeway. And she could put up the camera, immediately flick it back down, and then still not die. So y'all know ahead of time, we're probably not doing all the custom night challenges. Because there's a lot. Especially 1020. We're not doing 1020. I think last time when I replayed the game... When I last replayed the game, yeah. Like, the fucking, like, 10-10 difficulty took me a couple of hours. Now, to be fair, strategies have been developed. I'm dead. No. Better strategies have been developed to conquer the elusive 1020, but I don't know if that's a challenge I want to partake in right now. I've got too many things, too many games I'm trying to play. Too many games I'm working through, too many things I'm trying to do. Too much of everything to dedicate. Fuck. Sometimes you have a bit of leeway, sometimes it's just instant death. And that's where my key problem with Toy Bonnie is. He's right there. Sometimes my brain doesn't process him being there until after I'm already flicking up the cameras. I don't know how far into the night we got that with that one. Just give me a moment. Alright. Let's go in for more. More of this nightmare. Good thing there was no robot in the room. Already. Wowie. Wowie. was worried there, because I'm like, surely that was fast enough. But no, I just didn't have my mouse in the right spot to insta close. Insta get out of mask. This is bad. The fuck was I supposed to do in that situation? I couldn't do shit in that situation, man. I'd pull up the cameras and I'd immediately pull it back down. There was physically nothing I could do there. Once I was put in that situation, there was nothing I could do to make it more likely that I would survive. I just had to put up with it and accept my fate. already down a power bar. I don't think that's good. No other animatronic gonna... There we go. Just thinking, no animatronics are coming in my room. Why did my power... Why did it just cut out? That wasn't Balloon Boy going away. That was someone else coming in. Oh. Old game. Absolute classic right here. Love this game as a kid. Going to the Fredbear's location, looking at like little dead body over there. I knew that guy. His name's Jimmy. Ah, well, I guess I'm going home. I'm having an unusually long experience playing through this. Usually I should be kicked out by now. I don't know why. Why am I still in here? Why hasn't the game kicked me out? There we go. The game remembered. one's come in the room yet. Balloon boy, you can piss off. You know, I'd expect someone... Speaking of... I'd expect someone to come into the room by now. I say as someone enters the room. I'm dead. Nope. Somehow we're still alive and kicking. If you ask me, I should have died to Chica. If you ask me, I should have died to the Golden Freddy head in the hall that I kept flashing. Really, dude? I am somehow alive. I feel like we're always going to be pushing it with the music box from here to the end of the night. Well, you're always kind of pushing it with the music box in later nights. You can't just... have it cleanly go by. Despite how it may appear, we're actually alright on power, I think. See? We ran out of battery, but we're still okay. After being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is closing its doors. The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. It's a minor setback. We are confident that we will reopen someday, even if it is with a much smaller budget. And that is the night 6 done. Alright, so let's have a look at all of these. We got 2020, classic, new and shiny, alright, Double Trouble, we got Night of Misfits, Foxy, Ladies Night, Freddy Circus, the Cupcake Challenge, Fazbear Fever, Golden Freddy. I don't have the time nor the patience to put up with all of these. So I'm thinking we do a few. Which ones do you guys think we should do? I want to do something that's like still relatively annoying. I don't want to just do an easy looking one. I don't want to do like just like Foxy. That looks way easy. You just keep shining your light down the hall, winding music box, mask on for Mangle when needed. I think we could do Freddy Circus. What do you think? 2020, we could do that. Freddy Circus as well. I like that one. And I don't know, one more. I don't know about Ladies Night. I don't want to have to do all at once with Cupcake or Fazbear Fever or Golden Freddy. Let's start off with 2020. So, looking at this one, it's just flash your light down the hall, mask for the other guys when they come in, and then music box. Right? I don't think there's anything else. Yeah. Let's look for what do the others have. So, this one requires look down the vents. I think because BB's here, you do have to worry about Foxy still, even though he's not active. Yeah, so this is pretty much what we have just been doing. It's just less office interruptions because of no Bonnie and Chica. We could do that then. We could do new and shiny. Double Trouble, this is just office problems and then a bit of Foxy. How about this? We'll do the first 3 challenges. Just to get a taste of what Custom Night is. I'm not doing all of them. Golden Freddy's a bit extreme. You know, Fazbear Fever and Cupcake Challenge, I just don't feel like doing these. Freddy Circus is interesting, but I don't know. Because of time and the fact that I want to get through all the other games, as well as a bunch of other games, I say first 3 challenges, get a taste of what it's like. So it's just this the entire night. There are all, like, almost always be an animatronic in the room. We always have to flash for Foxy. I think Foxy could still be in the hall even if Freddy's there. So we'll flash. So if we just see Freddy, we'll flash as well, just to be safe. Yeah, it seems like power won't actually be an issue. I thought power would be more of an issue than it actually is, so... Because we don't have to worry about it. Fuck, we're dead. Somehow we're not dead. We absolutely would have died if someone was in the office there. What do you guys think the timeline is up to this point in the series? I think I know. I want to, like, as we go through these games, after we finish each game, we form a timeline. Just kind of thinking what we think the lore is. Based on purely the evidence that you get at these points in the series. So using only evidence from FNAF 1 and 2, what do we think the timeline is? Here's what I'm thinking the timeline is. Starts off with Fredbear's Family Diner. It gets closed after a kid dies outside, becomes the puppet. They reopen as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. It closes. I'm gonna say... I honestly have no idea what made that first location close, but it closed. I don't know. And then this location open up. Missing children or something. Bite of 87, place closed. Actually, no. Old location. Missing children's incident. FNAF 2 location. More kids die. Bite of 87. Place closes down. All thanks to Purple Guy. FNAF 1 location closes down. I don't think kids died in FNAF 1. I think the stigma of the brand made people not go there, so it just didn't have money. Then the place closed, and then that's the end. Your night guards are just like nobodies. And that's the story of FNAF with just 2 games. Alright. That is night 7. That is 420 of FNAF 2. Great! Now get out. Yo, who the fuck? Fritz Smith? New guy. First day on the job? Really? We're fired for tampering with animatronics and odor. Ooh, spicy lore. Okay, so there we go. 420 is done. Actually, wait, I'm just going back to the title screen. Yeah, 3 stars. We got the stars here indicating that 420 is done. Night 7 is done. Now we got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 challenges in all. We're not doing them all because I don't feel like it. New and shiny. What's the strat with this one? I'm thinking we just do like the vent hallway vent cam, put on mask as soon as we put it down because Toy Freddy or like Bonnie and Chica, I guess. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Just doing the basic strategy across the night. Everyone's only on 2 difficulty. Or 10 difficulty, I mean, sorry. So, let's go in. Yeah, so the Foxy is active whenever Balloon Boy is active. Even if it doesn't display that he's active, he is active. So, if you're doing the custom night, you gotta keep that in mind. Why is Toy Bonnie coming out? Toy Bonnie was not in that vent. Toy Bonnie's just playing around. Really, dude? Toy Bonnie is just playing around. Just for shits and giggles, I guess. Toy Bonnie can do whatever the fuck he wants. I was holding down my mouse button. And then it just stopped working. Power is being more of an issue here than it was in 420. I'm noticing that. You gotta stop waiting for the end of my routine to put on the mask for, like, Balloon Boy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica. That's what... I'd imagine that's a factor that's contributing to me dying. Is how long I wait to put on a mask for those three. If I put it on earlier, then I can get them out of here faster. Like, if I notice they're there, flash a little for Foxy, then mask it up. We can make it a bit more reliable that we have enough time for both the music box and Foxy. I also just gotta... Something else I'm thinking is not assuming Toy Bonnie isn't there if I hear Mangle. Because we've had times where, like, Mangle's going off, so we have to put on the mask for her, or him, for them. And we also have to wait for Toy Bonnie to go across the screen at the same time. So I think they could both be there, like, at the same time. Yeah, so part of me just thinking, check for both. Okay, at least we got a fast Bonnie on that one. Alright. The custom night challenges aren't actually that bad. At least go to night 6. Like, night 6 was way, way harder than that. But then again, we've only done 2 challenges. Kind of hard to judge when you only got 2 challenges under your belt. Alright. Alright. We're only an hour in. I was expecting this to take longer. I've actually got an idea for something we could do at the end, though. So, this doesn't mean we're going to do, like, all the challenges. It just means we'll probably go for another, like, half an hour. Actually, let me check how long that other thing that I was thinking about related to this. It's like, how long would this take? If I... that... Okay, that's like 20 minutes. Okay, so... yeah, another half an hour, I'm thinking. Half an hour more of the custom night. Starting with Double Trouble. And then we'll just, like, use the night skip command to get to the end of all of them, just so I can show off what you get. And we'll do a little bonus thing. We'll put together the final thoughts for what the lore is. We'll do that final thing that I mentioned. But I'll leave it a surprise until then. So, for completing 420, you get that 3rd star on the menu. For completing New and Shiny, you get this Toy Bonnie figure on your desk. I forgot who's active tonight. Oh yeah, now I remember. 420 gets you that 3rd star. And then completing New and Shiny gets you... get out of here. New and Shiny gets you the Toy Bonnie figure on the desk. And the thing is, you get a new thing on the desk for every custom night challenge that you complete. What? Alright, first death of the custom night. Took till 3rd challenge. I disagree with that one. There are deaths that I've had to those guys that I would say I should... no, there were times I've survived where I'm like, I should have died to that. And then there's times like that where I'm like, I should have survived that, but I died. It's weird. So you just hug the right side. Check the vent for Toy Bonnie. Flash down the hall for Foxy. When Wither Bonnie gets in the room, you just put on the mask. And you do it fast. Sometimes you get a lot more leeway with Toy Bonnie, and I don't know why. And I'm pretty sure that same weird leeway works as well. We might be dead. Same level of leeway might work the same for... How are we not dead? With Toy Chica. I don't know. Two of them are very weird. I also gotta, like, check myself more time on that vent. Like, there's no way I would have been able to tell that Toy Bonnie was in there if I only flashed it for, like, a frame before going into cameras. Mum. It's always Toy Bonnie. I always have to freak the fuck out to get rid of Toy Bonnie. Like, that absolutely feels like a you should be dead amount of time to react. But we're not. It's like Michael Afton said in that sister location cutscene. I should be dead, but I'm not. I absolutely should be dead from Toy Bonnie, but for some reason he's being nice. I'm really curious as to how long you actually have to put on your masks whenever an animatronic enters the room. I'm also curious as to how Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica work. I'm curious about the inner workings of this game. So this game's goofy. This game works in mysterious ways that I don't know, but I'm pretty sure just probably some people out there have the entire code for this game memorized. So you can ask them any question about how anything works and they just know. Oh yeah, how does the game determine how Toy Bonnie works? Oh well, here's my entire thesis of how Toy Bonnie works in FNAF 2. Thank you. Where are your citations? The entire source code. But like, it's pretty easy to decompile Click Team games, from what I've heard. Like, very easy to look into the files, look at the code. So if you really need to figure out something, you can easily do that. As long as you know how to read code. I don't know what language Click Team games are written in. What coding language? It's frankly... Yo, JJ under the desk. To be honest, I don't know any coding language. So no matter which one it is, I wouldn't be able to look at it. My experience with coding has always just been like that fucking like block coding shit. It's used for the absolute beginners. Like Scratch. Like that's the coding I know. I'd be able to look at Scratch coding and be like, yes, I understand this. Show me any other coding, my brain will just die. The fuck's a Java, dude? I don't know that shit. Alright, that's another night down. That was all I was planning on getting through. So, I don't know. Do we want to do more? I don't know, I'm not really feeling more. We probably do, like... like, I don't want to have to... I'm feeling kind of done with this game. Like, we've seen pretty much all this game has to offer. Because of my challenges, there's, like, just slightly different variations of what we have been doing. And some of them are easier, and some of them are harder. So, I guess we could finish off this game with night skips and what you get for beating each custom night mode. So, let's go right in. So for completing Double Trouble, you get a Bonnie plush. Now here's the secret. You go over to Freddy's nose, hold C, D, plus. If you press C, D, and plus on your keyboard while hovering over Freddy's nose on the poster, you go right to the end of the night. That's a weird fade out. What the fuck? I had never seen that before. So yeah, as far as the game is concerned, we just beat Night of Misfits. Alright, Foxy Foxy. For completing Night of Misfits, you get a Balloon Boy plush on your desk. Pretty creepy. Alright, we'll just go through the rest of the night as well. So that was Foxy Foxy. For completing Foxy Foxy, you get a Foxy plush on your desk, as you would expect. For completing Ladies' Night, you get a Chica plush. For completing Freddy's Circus, you get a Freddy plush. For completing for completing the cupcake challenge, you get a cupcake on your desk. Very, very creepy. It is staring right at my crotch. For completing Fazbear Fever, you get Freddy Fazbear's microphone on your desk. And last but certainly not least, for completing Golden Freddy or 1020, you get Golden Freddy himself on your desk. So that is it for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We're done here. We've seen all the game has to offer. We've seen a couple of secrets here and there. So we'll just finish this off with the conclusion of what I believe the timeline of events are. So here's how I think it all started. Here's how I think the entire timeline goes. So it starts in, like, I don't know, early 80s or some late 70s, early 80s or something, with Fredbear's Family Diner. And at Fredbear's Family Diner, a child is killed outside by the Purple Guy. And after Purple Guy kills this child, the place closes down, and then a new place opens, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, in which the Purple Guy comes back and kills 5 kids. Missing children's incident. Those 5 kids are stuffed into suits by... I'm gonna say Purple Guy stuffed them into the suits, and then the puppet, possessed by the first child who died outside of Fredbear's, the puppet went around and made the kids possess the suits. So that's what I think happened there. Place closed down. New place opened. FNAF 2 location. We got toy animatronics. They've got all these safety measures. Purple Guy comes back, kills more kids. As you see in the in that one minigame, the Save Them minigame, where you're playing as Freddy walking around the place, you see more dead bodies. You can even sometimes see Purple Guy show up, but we did not. So we have those more kids die, and then Bite of 87 happens. We don't know who caused it. I'm gonna say it was Jeremy, the night guard for the first 6 nights. He got transferred over to day shift, got bit. He was the victim. We don't know who caused it. In fact, I think even to this day, we don't know who caused it. He lost his frontal lobe. Place closed down. FNAF 1 location opens up years later, 1993 or something. And then, as a result, the place closed down. I don't think any kids died in that location. I think it's more likely that, like, the dead bodies all around the location, and it, like, the 10 kids who have, no, like 11 now. 11 kids and 1 serious injury from another guy which have all happened in a Freddy Fazbear's location. Bad company stigma, so no one ate there. Place closed down because of no money. And then that is what I think the end of the timeline is, using only the first 2 games. I'm pretty sure that's, like, kind of what people thought at the time, right? Like, people just thought, like, Fredbear's and kids died, and then new FNAF 2 place, kids died, and then, like, the one location before that where kids died, and then FNAF 2 where kids died, and then FNAF 1 just closed down. And then that's it. That was just the end. I feel like if I watch a game theory video, like, that would be kind of be like what's said. You guys want to do that? You know, fuck it, we're a streamer. I'm a streamer. And you know what streamers do? React to other people's content. And when we react to other people's content, we steal their content and get views from it. That's how streamers work. Alright, fellas. I am going to become a React Andy. Let's fucking do this. let's learn what the FNAF lore is up to this point. See how much of it we agree with, see how much we disagree with. Look back at it with hindsight, knowing all the things we know now that, as of right now, as of me doing this, for anyone watching on YouTube later, like, Help Wanted 2 is like, I don't know, a couple weeks old now. We'll watch his FNAF 2 videos. I want to skip out on FNAF 1 because I think you can forgive me for not wanting to watch his FNAF 1 video. Oh, there's only one FNAF 2 video? Damn. 26 million views. Holy crap. Alright. I got the video up. Let me just close the game. We don't need that anymore. Welcome to Reaction Streamer. Just give me a moment. Save that. Boom. Alright, let's have a look at... Oh, do I have... Nope. Just give me one moment. Let's have a look back at... Say happy birthday to my friend Nick Ass? Sure. That's all you're getting, by the way. Very interesting name. Okay, for a second I thought that was gonna be like a These Nuts joke somehow. Alright. Let's see what FNAF lore was. All the questions are going to be answered. Alright, Matt. Let's see what you got for us. Wow, jump scare right at the start. Dude, the old Game Theory video intro. You have Ultimate Custom Night? I do. I'm not playing a FNAF song. I don't feel like it. I feel like learning FNAF lore.
Welcome to Game Theory, the show that promises not to include any more gratuitous jump scares, unless that's just what I want you to think, so I can lull you into a false sense of security and scare you again. But I wouldn't do that. I'll just let the uncertainty of whether a jump scare is going to happen or not drive you insane.
I don't think there's another jump scare in this video. I think Matt's driving me insane.
These games! Not because I'm freaked out by the rosy-cheeked, tingle-looking, emotionally dead animatronics. Okay, well, Balloon Kid is pretty messed up, but whatever.
Balloon Kid? Call the fucker Balloon Kid, dude. That's insane.
Every element of the story. When you create a game that has people rage debating about whether it's a sequel or a...
Give me just a moment. I'm turning up the volume on my end. Because it's very quiet.
Prequel? You've definitely done something right. Unless that was never your intent, in which case you've done something horribly, horribly wrong. Anyway, the point
right, I forgot. People had to argue over whether or not FNAF 2 was a sequel or a prequel. What were, like, the arguments for it being a sequel was just like... Let me guess, that secret jump scare is Fredbear with the death coin. That's the only secret jump scare in the game. I would definitely know if there's any others. What was the arguments for this game being a sequel? Because I know the arguments for being a prequel, like 1987, toys were scrapped, all that shit. I think the arguments for it being a sequel is just the fact that it's FNAF 2. And that the robots were dismantled, I guess.
Freddy's 2 looks to be everything you'd want in a sequel. More cameras, more danger, and more fan. Oh,
the fan, let's go!
With more questions. Questions about the game's lore. And while
Oh boy, yep. Questions of the game's lore.
I provide you with what everyone really
Fred Barrett's
wants,
Bite of 83.
answers. Well, maybe not everyone. What an elite, educated subset of you really want, answers. So grab your...
Yes, only the most prestigious and I'm trying to think of other adjectives, smartest of individuals. They don't care about Funny Bear Game and its Funny Bear jump scares. No. No. Oh, we do not care about that at all. We only care about the finer things. The story. The lore. The dead children. Subscribe button is down below the stream.
Yourselves a slice of Freddy Fazbear's signature pizza, because we're about to dig in. Ugh. Tastes like cardboard. Let's get the big one out of the way first. Is the game a sequel or a prequel sequel? And what I mean by that is
Is the game a sequel or a prequel sequel? Also known as a prequel.
Contrary to popular belief, just because it has a big 2 slapped next to the name doesn't automatically mean the game comes after the first one in a timeline sense.
That is true.
Yes, but it tells a prequel story. Take, for instance, these all-time classics. Psycho 4, The Beginning, Lion King 1.5, and the actual all-time classic, Godfather Part 2.
I haven't seen any of those.
All of them sequels that just so happen to also be prequel.
This is a theory channel that mostly kids watch. Like, I don't think many kids are watching Godfather Part 2 and Psycho 4 The Beginning. Alright, Matt, I don't think many people are watching this.
It's not mutually exclusive. So where's Five Nights at Freddy's 2 fit in? Knowing its place in the timeline is crucial for understanding its story. Well,
that is correct. It is essential.
The paycheck you receive at the end of your 5th night. The date.
How annoying is Dee Dee? Like, I don't know, it's not that bad. Maybe like a 6 or a 7. I can put up with it.
This is the events of the game in 1987. A whole 6 years
Plus you
ahead
get
of when
DD
we
Repel.
determined the first game took place in our first video.
What was the evidence that it was 1993? The evidence was like definitely like paycheck, minimum wage. It was literally like minimum wage saying, all right, it's between like 1990 and 1996. It was that plus a real life incident happening in 1993. It's very possible the first game didn't actually take place in 1993, but now it just does. Like, I think the movie, FNAF 1 movie, takes place like 2000. It's very possible 1993 wasn't the intended date, but I'd imagine it is now, because a lot of people just accepted. Oh yeah, 1993. That's when FNAF 1 happened. So I'd imagine it's possibly like retroactively canon, because of that. Bro's risking his life for $100.
Sounds like a prequel, but we found that
True.
date in the first game by calculating Mike Schmidt's hourly pay and comparing that to the minimum wage.
Well, there's the answer that I just explained. So yeah, 30 hours total, $124 an hour. Somewhere, well, this is already way higher than $4 an hour. Neither of these dates line up, Matt.
Of the 90s. If Scott Coffin, the game's developer, is just picking random numbers for the payments, this bit of evidence would be meaningless. Except that
he probably was. Let's be real. He probably was just picking random numbers. And it just so happened to line up with like early 90s.
Is not. At the end of Five Nights 2, you get paid $100.50. Divide that by the 30 hours worked, and you get $3.35 an hour. The exact minimum wage for 1987.
Hold on, let's double check that. 1987 minimum wage. $3.35. Oh shit, it actually was real. Wow. So I think the first game he was just pulling numbers out of his ass, but I think with the second game he actually took it into account because now people cared.
Which means that us using minimum wage calculations to identify the year of Five Nights 1 is a perfectly valid way to prove it. And
Is it though? Because I still, again, I think he's just pulling numbers out of his ass.
shows that it takes place after the events of Five Nights 2.
But
So
okay,
don't
we'll
believe me?
take that as
Players brave
evidence.
enough to survive
1993,
Extra
sure.
Night 6 are rewarded with a bonus check and a newspaper clipping that says the toy robots are getting scrapped, and that the old ones are going into storage for a new, smaller scale version of the restaurant. That would explain why the old models reappear in Five Nights 1 and the toy models don't. And notice how it mentions a smaller version of the restaurant. The building in Five Nights 1 is significantly smaller than the setting of Five Nights 2. Need
Yeah.
more evidence? What about the fact that on the first night in the office, the phone guy explains that the
I could take that explanation. I could take, like, smaller location. They said they make a smaller location. Worst FNAF game? I'd say 4.
robots
I don't
used
like
to walk
4.
around during the day, just
4 is
like
the
they
only
do
one
in
I
Five
actually
Nights
dislike
2,
playing.
but not anymore. Or the fact that phone guy dies in the first game, making it hard for him to also be the phone guy in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 if it takes place after. Call me the Phantom Menace, cause every way to Sunday, this game is a prequel.
Yeah, it's pretty well established. I'd say Matt hit it spot on with this evidence, even for the time. Like, we know now, we know it is a sequel, or not a sequel. We know it's a prequel, 100%. Even for the time, pretty well established. I'd say good job, Matt. What about FNAF 6? FNAF 6 is probably my favorite.
We're able to piece together the
I
rest
love
of the
that game.
timeline and dig a little bit deeper. Posters everywhere in Five Nights 2 welcome you to this new location, implying that
there is new location, and
pizza somewhere before.
and that's why people thought it was a
Additionally,
sequel.
The phone guy makes reference to it on night 1, mentioning the old location and how it was left to rot. So we know that there was one Freddy Fazbear's Pizza for the first game, one for the second game, and one that came before both of them that we've never seen. But even before that, the phone guy also mentions an even older restaurant called Fredbear's Family Diner.
He does, yep.
Aside from its confusingly different name, also had different owners. So let me recap. There's the restaurant from the first game, which is the last in the timeline. The one that you're currently
I don't think you need to
working at in
recap
1987,
something you said
Five Nights
30
2,
seconds
an
ago,
older location
Matt
of Freddy
Pat.
Fazbear's Pizzeria left to rot, and the original Fredbear's Diner. Jeez, I hope you're still with me, because this is more complicated than the Zelda timeline.
Is it more complicated than the Zelda timeline? Have you guys seen the Zelda timeline? Most mid FNAF game? Probably 3. This is not more complicated than the FNAF timeline. Or Zelda timeline. The Zelda timeline... if I pull that up, like, we have... Like, can I get a higher quality image? Can I zoom in? Yeah, like, Zelda timeline, we got some weird-ass order until Ocarina of Time, in which it splits in 3. This is way more complicated. Now, if you said the FNAF timeline split at FNAF 1 and 2, and that's where the new Face of Fun can also be a prequel, boom, now it's complicated, but this is not really that complicated to understand. And besides, even now, we don't know where Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are on the timeline. Though, I won't really count that against Matt, because this was 2014.
Anyway, it's at this first location. The
Opinion
diner
on Mangle
where
and
the whole
Toy
story
Chica?
begins.
They're alright.
Submitted for the approval
Don't
of
really
the
care
Game
too much
Theorist
about them.
Society. This is the true tale of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Alright, fellas,
You
true
die in
tale.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Before you've even gotten over the jump scare, you sometimes get a screen like this. Oh, turn it off! Turn it off! It's too
Yep,
horrifying.
I remember that.
That, youngsters, was E.T. for the Atari, a console that came out before the NES. Yes,
He's
around the
explaining
same time as
fucking
Dinosaurs.
E.T..
It's widely considered to be the worst game of all time, hence me reacting in a horrified manner. See? Humor, folks. But seriously, you get these disturbing death...
Dude, it really was 2014. Like, no one knew what the fuck E.T. was unless you grew up with it. If you asked a kid now, they probably wouldn't know. Maybe I'm just in a niche minority who knows what that game is, and it's a legacy. Especially at like, a young age. Like, I think this was actually the video where I learned about what E.T. was. E.T. the video game. I like FNAF World. It's good fun.
use Atari-esque graphics to depict various horrific events. All the while, a creepy robotic voice
Yeah, it looks
spells out
just
letter
about
by
like
letter things
Atari
like
graphics.
help them, save them, or save him. These death minigames are the most important piece in figuring out the true story behind these games.
Yeah,
Let's start with
they're
this one.
very
This
important.
death minigame has you playing as Freddy,
cake?
taking cake to screaming children at a birthday party. As Freddy rushes around trying to keep the whole party happy, a single sad child looks on from outside, when suddenly you're powerless to do anything but look on in abject horror as a purple man pulls up in a car, murders the child, and drives off. It's my belief, loyal theorists, that this game takes place at Fredbear's Diner, and is chronologically the first...
I agree with that. I agree with Fredbear's Family Diner being that. Do I like or dislike Toilet Bonnie? I like Toilet Bonnie. Goofy guy. Have you guys seen the, hold on. Toilet Withered. This is a classic image right here. I want this. What the fuck is this? What does that have to do with Toilet Withered Bonnie? Nah, man, I want this shit installed in my house. Give me this toilet. I want that. Anyway, Fredbear's Family Diner. Yep, that is indeed where the Take Cake minigame is.
First event that we see in this timeline. How do I
Yep.
know? Well, it's a small establishment, and there's only one animatronic, Freddy, as opposed to all the other games which show other robots. But more importantly, this murdered child is the one that sets...
I would challenge that piece of evidence, actually. Smaller location compared to everything else, and that you only see Freddy. Because if we look at the Foxy Go 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 minigame, it's a smaller enclosed space with just Foxy's current and then a room full of kids. Pretty small, I'd say. And you only ever see Foxy. Does this mean there's another location that just had Foxy? I wouldn't say so, actually. I wouldn't say that.
everything into motion. One of the new tasks added to Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is winding a mysterious music box that we're told placates one of the animatronics. If you fail to wind the music box, what you're introduced to is this terrifying thing, the puppet. Looks like No Face from Spirited Away. You know what else he looks like? Take a look at that murdered child again. See how his tear tracks remain visible on his face, even after he's dead? If we assume that they'll continue to stay with him into the afterlife, we can make a pretty good case that this kid's murdered spirit eventually found its way into the puppet animatronic. But that's not all. What jump scare happens after this Save Him minigame? After seeing this tear-stained child's murder reenacted in 8-bit, the puppet. The puppet jumps out of the screen and attacks you. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Yep, that tracks. So, the puppet got possessed by this kid. It's very interesting that he's pointing out that the kid's dead body had the tear streams. And that's evidence that it's the puppet as well, because the tear streams on the puppet. Because I think there's a point in the series where, like, you don't have tear streams on the puppet's mask. I don't know which game it is. I think it's Security Breach when you have the mask on the blob. I did not... What video are you talking about? Wizard Bonnie puts on his mask. There's like probably like a million out there since 2014. Yeah, because like on the blob, the puppet mask doesn't have the tear streams. Hold on. Puppet mask on Security Breach blob. Yeah, there's like no tear streams. So something about the kid possessing the puppet. Wait, hold on. Security puppet FNAF 6 mini. Are the tear streams on him here? No. No, the tear streams aren't here. Okay, so whenever the... I'm not searching up that video, because there's probably a million out there, and I don't feel like it. Okay, so when before the kid possesses the puppet, there's no tear streams. Whenever the kid is possessing the puppet, there are tear streams. I'm not looking up the video. So you can use that to indicate whenever the kid's in possession of the puppet, based on if there are tear streams on the mask.
Incident marks the first time the chain is ever associated with a violent act carried out against a child, and we can infer that it was this incident that caused the original owners of Fredbear's Diner to sell off to the company now known as Fazbear Entertainment. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was senselessly murdered and left to haunt a crappy pizza place for the rest of my life in the body of an awful-looking clown doll,
Haunt a crappy pizza place for the rest of your life? Dude, you're dead.
I'd want to get my revenge as soon as possible. Unfortunately for our vengeful puppet, though, it doesn't quite turn out that way. Fast forward to Freddy...
Oh, don't worry. The kid... They do get their revenge eventually. FNAF 3 shows that Purple Guy does indeed die.
Fazbear's Pizza, the first location, the one that has yet to appear in a game. This new restaurant is the one we learned about in my earlier episode and throughout the first game, where our pal the murderer uses a golden Freddy suit to lure away and kill 5 children in the back room.
Okay, so obviously we know this isn't true. It's a golden Bonnie suit. But we didn't know of the existence of a golden Bonnie suit at the time. We only knew Golden Freddy. So MatPat did get this wrong, but we're not gonna... I wouldn't hold that back against him. I wouldn't say, oh, he's so stupid. Doesn't he know that it's a Golden Bonnie? Golden Bonnie did not exist yet.
As we read through the various articles on the wall, he gets caught the next day, but the bodies are never found, presumably because they've been stuffed into the animatronic suits. The restaurant stays open,
which
for
we do see in FNAF 2.
The body stink starts to waft off the robots
with the give gifts minigame.
For health reasons. But how do we know?
Oh right, that's why the FNAF 1 place closed. Health reasons, because rotting corpses and robots. Or maybe that was like the first location that closed down because of health reasons. That probably makes more sense. By the time FNAF 1 rolls around, the bodies are probably already, like, really, really rotted. So, randomly having blood and mucus come out of the eyes and mouths probably didn't happen.
This happened in the first pizzeria's location. Again, we turn to what the phone guy says. On night 2 of Five Nights 2, he mentions the smell coming from the old animatronics. The smell that got the original restaurant shut down.
Yeah.
We also know that after the Golden Freddy incident, it took multiple months for the restaurant to get shut down. That couldn't have happened in the restaurant of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which is shut down on night 6 and into the foreseeable future. But outside of these lore clues, it also makes logical sense. Before the Golden Freddy murders, there was one dead child whose tear-stained soul existed in the form of the puppet. But now there are 5 more dead children, and thanks to another of the death minigames, we find out exactly what happened to them. In the Help Them minigame, the puppet stuffs the dead children into
We call it the Help Them minigame. Interesting. Definitely a different time. We've called this like Give Gifts. Or Give Gifts, Give Life. Definitely a different era.
And preps them for their eternal mission of vengeance. But MatPat, you say through your chattering teeth, there are only 4 dead children in that game. To which I tell you,
but there are 5.
If you dare. For the
there are
frame
5.
Right before Golden Freddy's head jumps out and attacks, features the lost 5th dead child, and what started as a haunted puppet has suddenly become an army of possessed animatronics out for revenge. But wait, that's not all we know. We also know the murder was committed by the same guy who killed the first child.
You got the worst downgrade.
Look at the Foxy death
Ruin.
minigame. Twice, Foxy runs out to meet the
probably Roxy probably got hit the hardest.
But the third time we see the tall purple man again, smiling. Foxy goes into the other room to find 5 dead children. The man in purple strikes again. Skip ahead to 1987.
But why was Foxy in a curtain? Because we only see that in FNAF 1. Could that first location be the FNAF 1 location that got closed down to make way for FNAF 2? And then they reopened the first location? I mean, that would definitely help if they were working on a smaller budget to just reopen a building they already have set up. Just like clean and tidy that place and then go. Could be that. Could be that that first location just also happened to have a Pirate's Cove.
Finally bringing us to the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The old animatronics have been retired, and the cute new versions of all our favorite friends come equipped with facial recognition software that just so happens to be connected to a sex offender database. See?
I forgot they tied it to a sex offender list. I forgot that that was what they did. Yeah, because like they could detect a predator a mile away.
Seems like an oddly specific detail, right? Until you consider that the last restaurant was closed for having children get kidnapped and killed by an employee. It's a safety measure.
Yeah, but like, that's very interesting. That because of murders in their establishment, they tie it to a sex offender registry. I mean, I'd say good job having trying to keep out sex offenders. That's probably a good idea. But interesting that they would think that would be tied with murder. I mean, it might. I don't know specifics on how those kinds of crimes work and how they could be correlated. Because I don't research that in my off time. I research Zelda speedrunning shit and how to beat Tears of the Kingdom faster than I could before. But a very interesting idea that was proposed. Like, why would they tie it
You see how
specifically
it
to
all ties
that?
together? So you have some animatronics possessed by vengeful spirits and
Yep.
another batch on the prowl for predators. But that doesn't stop our friend the Purple Man from continuing his life's work of murdering children at...
Which makes sense, because I'd imagine Purple Guy isn't tied to a sex offender registry. If there's anything he's tied to, it's just a general criminal database. Because, as far as we're aware, Purple Guy doesn't have any charges for any sexually related crimes. He wouldn't be on that kind of list that they're hunting down for.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As we learned from the phone guy on nights 4 through 6, the new restaurant is once again under investigation as, well, I'll let him explain.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while.
Yep.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right.
Yeah, that makes sense. So he used the Golden Bonding suit, or as we knew at the time, Golden Freddy, and killed some kids. They got possessed or something, and then now the robots aren't acting right because now they're possessed by dead children. By the animatronic sister location. I'm a big fan of Funtime Freddy. Love that guy.
The Golden Freddy Killer struck again. The final death minigame also supports this. You, as Freddy, must walk through an exact replica of the building. Animatronics all in their proper places, seeing the 5 dead children spread out through the various rooms.
So I
And
think
based
there
on what
were
Phone Guy
5
says,
more
it
dead
seems like the
kids
guilty party was
in
the former
the
night
FNAF
guard,
2
the
location.
one who moved to day shift and the one your character replaced. I mean, Phone Guy makes plenty of uncomfortable references to suddenly having an available position during the day.
He does.
When we get it all sorted out, we may move you to the day shift. A position just became available. We don't have a replacement for your shift yet, but we're working on it.
And then they get
Is the
Fritz
Purple
Smith
Man
before the
really
place
someone
closed
we've
down.
Never met and who's only worked there a week, or is it someone we trust? Someone with a long history with these characters. Someone no
Oh,
one
boy.
would suspect. The head guard, the one forced to fill empty positions and teach new recruits by leaving them instructions over the phone. Is the Purple Man the phone guy?
That's the big question that Matt Pat tried pushing back in this era. Obviously, we know now Phone Guy is not Purple Guy. I don't know what the best jump scare is, man. I don't give a shit. I don't pay attention to that. I don't have an opinion on that. But the big theory he was trying to push is the phone guy is the purple guy. I don't remember his evidence, so I'm willing to hear him out based on the knowledge we had at FNAF 2. Let's
Ask
hear it.
yourself this. What do we really know about Phone Guy? Let's look at what he says. First, he always speaks like an outsider looking in. He refers to the management of the company as they. So
Yeah, because he's just an employee.
he's not a higher up like the CEO or even a manager. But he's also not a typical day worker, as he says things like the employees and the staff. So he works there, but isn't generally considered a regular member of the company.
Is he? Like, he could just be referring to, like, the employees. You could still be talking about employees or the staff when he's just one of them. Sure, I guess you might be using a word like co-workers. Like, if I'm referring to the other people who work where I work, I wouldn't be saying the employees. I'd be saying my co-workers. It is a little odd. So he is kind of like an outsider in a way. He's in like a weird position. He's like not quite like manager level, but he is above like random ass night guards, day guards, or like pizza cooks or whatever. He's in a in between position. He's like team leader or some shit.
We also know that he's qualified to take the role of a night guard. As we learn, he plans to take over the position sometime after night 6, and is on his way out of the position by the time the first game starts.
For now,
Yep, we know that.
through the night, when the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take the night shift myself. I actually worked in that office.
Yep, that tracks. He is a night guard. After Fritz gets fired,
What
he
else
takes
do
the
we know?
position.
Well, we know that Phone Guy has a long history with the company, being with it at least since the first pizzeria that we haven't played in. He also openly admits that Foxy the Pirate was always his favorite, and that he has never liked the puppet because, as he says, it was always thinking.
See, I told you you wouldn't have any problems. Did Foxy ever appear in the hallway? Probably not. I was just curious. Like I said, he was always my favorite.
Yep, that tracks.
I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere.
There's 3 William Aftons and Ultimate Custom Night because you play as one, there's Springtrap, there's Aftons. Simple as that. All-star list involves Springtrap and Scraptrap, and then you play as William Afton. I find it very interesting that he's saying, like, it's always thinking and it could go anywhere, about how he doesn't like the puppet. It could just be like a creepy vibe. Like, I don't have... If I walked into a Freddy Fazbear's and I saw the puppet just going anywhere it wants, just for funsies, you know, I'd probably be a little suspicious of it as well. And it always thinking... He probably doesn't mean he literally knows there's like a spirit possessing it, so there's like some human thought in a way. Maybe that it's just like too lifelike, so it's uncanny. That's the explanation I might go with right now. No, I never died to Plush Trap in UCN.
Okay, but what do we know about the purple guy, the Golden Freddy Killer? Well, let's look at the minigames again. He has a long history with the franchise, killing since it was Fredbear Diner. We see him smiling as he watches Foxy perform, Phone Guy's favorite, right before...
I think he's smiling because of the murders note, though, not because Foxy is his favorite. I think Foxy's probably not Purple Guy's favorite, especially with what we know about the Golden Bonnie suit. But I don't think he's smiling because it's Foxy.
Before Foxy sees the room of dead children. We know that the puppet and the killer wouldn't get along, which would explain Phone Guy's discomfort around a creature that he describes as always thinking. And here's the bombshell. We know the killer is a security guard. How? On very rare occasions during the Save Them minigame, while Freddy chases the puppet, the Purple Man appears and chases you. Look on his chest. It's an orange badge, the kind that would be given to a security guard. Now look at his eyes. Notice the white spots? An odd, seemingly innocuous detail. But now look at Golden Freddy. Look deep into his dead, vacant eyes. What do you see? 2 white spots. Pinpricks, really. Barely visible. They're there. And now finally, what do we see?
What's that evidence pointing toward? Is Purple Guy in the Golden Freddy suit when we see him in FNAF 1? No! I think he just has white dots for eyes because that's just how the character was designed. I think he just has regular eyes. Like regular human eyes. I do agree with the badge. I do believe he was a security guard. Phone Guy mentions there's a guy before you in FNAF 2. First guy finished his week but complained about conditions. We moved him over to day shift. I think that was Purple Guy. And then Jeremy took over, got transferred over to day shift later when Purple Guy left after killing. And then Fritz Smith took over, got fired after the first day, place closed down. Then when the place reopened, Phone Guy took the position.
In Purple Guy's hand. While the Atari graphics make it tough to discern, it's not like any gun or knife I've seen. No, that to me is very clearly a phone.
Alright, this piece of evidence is funny looking back. That is not a phone. Why would he be holding a phone in his hand? Like, this was the 80s. They didn't have phones that you could just, like, pick up, walk around with anywhere. He's not, like, making a voice call with someone as he's walking down the hallways of Freddy Fazbear's. He would be strapped to one position through a wire. He could not be holding a phone. Even then, it's more likely that it's, like, a hand crank or something to deal with the robots. It's not a phone.
The robotic voice is spelling out for you, save them, save them. But when Purple Guy, Phone Guy, catches you, the screen crashes and all you're left with is, you can't. But that's not where it ends, Internet. As you and I both know, there's still Five Nights at Freddy's 1. If this game is last in line and the puppet is truly pulling the strings behind all of this, you might be asking yourself where he is in Five Nights 1. We know the other animatronics got scrapped, but this ghostly guy should still be around if this timeline I proposed is correct. And get this.
Does the puppet have to be, like, physically present? Like, I'd imagine he probably is. But, like, it could have just been classified as a toy animatronic and scrapped as well.
The puppet is in the first game. Take a look at the east hallway. Seems pretty normal, right? But every so often, the posters on the walls change to this. A crying child with 2 streaming lines down his face. Look familiar? It should. The Five Nights at Freddy's series is about vengeance.
Let's go back to that. Yeah, that does look pretty convincing. That is similar to how the puppet is portrayed in the crying child that died. Not the crying child, the one we know now, but the crying child at the time. That is how they were portrayed. And it's very interesting. As for where the puppet is physically, I don't think we have an explanation. The puppet could have been, like, scrapped and just, like, I don't know, floating around a junkyard or something. Maybe it's just like the restaurant's too dark so you don't actually get to see where the music box is.
Face. Look familiar? It should. The
Who
Five
knows?
Nights at Freddy's series
Maybe
is
the real
about
puppet is the
vengeance.
friends we made along the way.
6 children. More. Looking for revenge against a sick child killer. The Purple Guy. The guy who just so happens to be the first voice you hear when turning on these games. Save them. Save them. You can't. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Make sure you
Okay. Why is there still a minute
find
left?
that music box by clicking the subscribe button. Otherwise,
Oh.
the puppet might get ya.
Okay, so looking back at this series, I'd say timeline holds up. Really, I think everything, like, knowing with what we knew at the time, I'd say I agree with it entirely, except for Phone Guy being Purple Guy. I believe they're 2 separate characters. Especially when we get to FNAF 3, it'll be very obvious, like, you know, they have to be different characters. They can't be the same guy. But like even for FNAF 2, I definitely would, like, if I were to go in, like, if FNAF 2 came out for the first time now and my brain was like developed enough to really think for myself, I would probably consider the idea that Phone Guy is Purple Guy, but I wouldn't believe it. I would just say they're separate characters who have a couple of similarities. You know, like potentially liking Foxy or potentially not liking the puppet. Being guards. Because we also, and remember, we know there was a guard before Jeremy. And we know after Fritz, there was Phone Guy. So, Purple Guy could easily be the guy before Jeremy. Alright, so overall, pretty interesting. I think Friday we'll continue with FNAF 3. We'll make some progress on that, and then I'm thinking for the rest of the week until then, probably some more Omori. We got to get through that game faster. It's a big game, and we're only like halfway through the achievements list in Omori, so I got to get that. We'll do Pokemon still as well, because 2 gyms in, we're making good progress, but I want to get more progress, get farther, beat the game, complete the Pokedex, Deals National Dex, Battle Frontier, and all that shit. Let's go. We're going the full mile with Emerald. We're 100%ing that game. So yeah, I'll be alternating between Omori and Pokemon Emerald from here to the end of the week, where Friday we'll do a Freddy Friday. We'll be doing Five Nights at Freddy's 3. We'll be replaying that game. And then after that, after we see all the game has, and then we will probably look at more game theory videos, see what the consensus was at the time. Alright. See y'all tomorrow.